You've probably seen it happen. A show explodes into the global top 10. Everyone seems to be talking about it. And then, just a few weeks later, it's cancelled. Another becomes one of the most watched titles on a platform, and still disappears. From the outside, it feels chaotic. But the decisions behind those endings follow a pattern, shaped by incentives most viewers never see. The first disconnect is how success is measured. Public rankings answer a simple question: how many people watched? Renewal decisions answer a different one: what happens if we spend another $100 million? Those two questions rarely point to the same answer. The charts you see measure volume: hours watched, accounts sampled, minutes streamed. But inside a platform, the signals that matter look very different. Industry reporting suggests completion rate is one of the most important internal metrics, even though platforms rarely disclose it publicly. A show that loses half its audience by episode 3 sends a very different message than one that keeps almost everyone to the end. A strong premiere with a steep drop-off is often a warning sign, not a victory. The public sees the spike. The platform sees the slope. And that slope becomes even more important after a show succeeds. For many successful shows, season 1 is the cheapest season they'll make. Unknown actors, smaller sets, tighter production. It's also the season with the highest upside. New subscribers join specifically to watch it. But once that audience arrives, the economics flip. Season 2 costs more, sometimes a lot more, and brings in far fewer new subscribers. By season 3, almost everyone who would subscribe for the show has already done it. Later seasons serve the people who are already there. This is the part that changes how cancellations make sense. Season 1 is a customer acquisition tool. Season 2 is a customer retention tool. And those are completely different businesses. Rising costs meet declining acquisition value, and the renewal math tightens quickly. Even successful shows can hit a point where their next season is simply too expensive for the audience it serves. Some shows illustrate this pressure clearly. The Recruit returned with weaker viewership and was cancelled after 2 seasons. A League of Their Own had been renewed for a shortened final season. Then Amazon reversed that decision during the 2023 strikes, showing how quickly a show's future can change when production conditions and platform priorities shift. And even if a show clears that hurdle, it faces another one: competition from everything else a platform could spend money on. A renewal isn't a vote on whether a show deserves another season. It's a comparison. Is season 3 the best use of this money? Compared to a new original, a franchise expansion, a library acquisition, or a live sports deal? In 2025, Amazon committed nearly $20 billion for NBA rights. Netflix paid roughly $5 billion for WWE Raw. Those deals don't just reshape sports, they reshape the budgets that scripted shows depend on. This is also why some shows don't just end, they vanish. Removal isn't a creative judgment, it's a financial maneuver. Westworld wasn't removed because of its creative quality. Reporting linked its removal to Warner Bros. Discovery's broader cost-cutting strategy, content write-downs, and plans to license some titles to third-party services. All of this creates a viewing environment where cancellations feel unpredictable, even when the underlying logic is consistent. The safest shows aren't necessarily the most beloved. They're the ones whose value continues to exceed their cost, and that value changes every season. Understanding these incentives won't make a cancellation hurt less, but it does make the landscape easier to interpret. When a show ends, it's rarely because it wasn't loved. More often, it's because the economics around it shifted, costs rose, audiences fragmented, budgets tightened, or new priorities emerged. Streaming didn't make TV less emotional. It made the underlying decisions more mathematical. When you recognize those incentives, the endings no longer seem arbitrary. They start to feel like the predictable outcome of a world where every show is competing, not just for attention, but for the resources required to continue existing at all. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Unlike your favorite streaming show, this channel has already been renewed for another season.